What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the best meta strikers in FIFA 23. We've got the top of the top, we've got some average, and we've got some cheaper players. There is only one that I would like in an SBC to come back, and that is Politano. He, as a Serie A player, is fantastic. A 4-star, high-low work rate, which is always perfect. He's got a left foot on him as well. Also can play the wings if you really wanted to, if you've got somebody like an Ibra up front. Obviously, Ibra very unique in his style and would work really well with a kind of Insigne sort of vibe for the left wing if we had him back in the Serie A, and Politano on the right would be absolutely sensational. I feel like the next Insigne probably with someone like Leao, Politano and Ibra together would be incredible. But I think this card, the pace is there, we can add the shooting on top, passing's good as well, and an enormous amount of dribbling, plus more traits than you can really shake a stick at, to be honest. Second wind, flare passes, bicycle kicks. I didn't even know half of these traits were even in the game. Set piece specialist or set play specialist, swerve pass, flare, finesse. He is one that I personally really do regret not doing. And I think anybody else, let me know in the comments if you've got him and what you think about him. I just think as an SBC, this card was a little bit of a gem, to be honest. So I would really like this one back. Maybe in the future we could get a campaign bag that gives us a winter wild card just at a shot at this player. We then have Di Natale, keeping it in the vibe of the Serie A. We've managed to get him untradeable, and as you can see, one game in, already absolutely storming through. He's always been a fantastic hero to get. He's one of the top ones, especially when the game comes out. Every time that I see him, I have to mention, would love an upgraded version of him. I think we saw him in, I want to say a left or right wing last year in Shapeshifters, but this year I hope we do get a big upgrade for him that keeps him at that striking role, because most definitely a formidable striker. Still coming in with a little bit of a price, but definitely worth every penny. Finesse, flair outside of the foot. He's just a fantastic player all round. We then have Smolarek, another hero, but a World Cup version this time. The only thing I think with him is definitely getting that 4-star skill move would be a must. Everything else is perfect. We've got the pace, got the finishing, little bit of passing, which is absolutely fine, and then the dribbling is spectacular as well. And also having a bit of strength, you can't argue. For someone who's 5'7", he has the whole package and just manages to get himself through. Unfortunately, doesn't have any traits, but still an absolutely unbelievable striker if you are still picking out a top striker for your team. If you don't have any team of the years, any top Mbappes, Messi's, Neymar's, any of that, this guy is definitely one to look at. We then have Osimhen as another SBC that I believe is still available at this moment in time. He is definitely taking the game by storm. I can remember when he got his Future Star Academy, where basically you get multiple versions of him. And this guy is now starting to really put in them focus. Team of the season could be very, very good for him because he's, what, 6'1", great pace, finishing's absolutely elite. We're starting to get more dribbling now. He's getting up into them top ratings. I think this guy definitely could have a very big future in the Serie A. And then who knows? We don't know where he's going to go, but at the minute, the ratings are coming in for him. Are you tired of using players like this? I would much rather have teams more like this. Then I recommend going over to skycoach.gg for all of your coaching and coins needs. They are cheap, fast and reliable, but at the checkout make sure you are using code JT11 for a discount on your orders. Back to the video. We then have Martial, who, again, to be honest, I feel like is very standard for a Prem striker. Quick, shooting, dribbling, all of the above. The 4-star is incredible, as well as having the ability to go up ratings. This obviously is another dynamic for a card, and most cards like a one to watch, like when we had the road to the knockouts. You look at the card now and think, okay, maybe he's 800,000 coins, but is he worth the upgrade? Are Man U likely to beat Barca to get to the next round? And if they do, we could eventually, if they do manage to, either win it or get to the final at the very minimum, see what, a 92, 93 rate. If they win it, a 93 Martial with a 5-star skill, 5-star weak foot, and 3 new traits. That, I think, is a good bonus already on top of what we've already got from this card. Even if he just managed to get just a +1, takes him up to a 90, would end up with 93 pace, incredible shooting already, which can be even more improved with a chemistry style and then having some good dribbling also. This card has definitely got a good future alongside it, as long as Man U manage to get through the Barca round this week. That'll be the interesting side from him, but I think even so, you're still looking at a very good card. I would say if you are looking at him in a almost investment sort of sense, if you don't think Man U are going through, then definitely wait until the game is done, is over. If Man U do lose to Barca, then this card is going to drop enormous amounts of price. So I would suggest if you are looking at someone like this, and especially with any road to the finals, they are going to be on an inflated price until they are either through or out. If you are looking at him just for the long term and you want him, you don't care that he goes up or anything, and you maybe don't want to spend all of that coins for him to not go up, because realistically, if they lose, he's probably dropping 300,000 at the very minimum, because there is no chance of an upgrade after that. But the actual ability to be upgraded takes Martial in a very, very top category. We then have Griezmann, Path to Glory, a phenomenal striker. Again, very much like who was it? It was Politano. Can obviously be that left wing, right wing sort of guy. Can even drop him a little bit further back into that centre forward cam role. He's got the 5-star, which is always perfect. And if you are a player with a little bit of skill on you, maybe you can use a left stick dribbling quite well. I would say he needs to be partnered with a player up front. But if you are good at that, he is very good in the box. The agility is very quick. He's got a wicked shot on him. Some great passing for some link-up play. Doesn't necessarily have the strength, and that's where the skill moves and left stick dribbling will really come into play with him. You'll obviously go for something like a Hunter to max out as much pace, because dribbling we don't need to touch, passing we don't need to touch. So it is all guns blazing for that pace and shooting. A phenomenal player you can get. Flair, finesse, and outside of the foot. You don't expect anything less for a Griezmann type card. We then have Lacazette, again, very standard. We've got pace, shooting, dribbling. We've got a bit of physicality on him. 5'9" with a high. Is a 5-star, 4-star as well. An out-and-out striker if you wanted him to be. And he can go with that Hunter as well. He is on the cheaper side compared to a lot of these strikers, which I think always has a benefit. Because obviously strikers are a position, personally, for me, I would happily pay a hell of a lot more compared to, especially starting out, compared to a left back, compared to a centre back. They oftentimes are the positions that are done last. I would much rather have an Mbappe-esque striker that is costing 500,000 coins and then 100k back line, because I know full well that the striking ability is going to be what outweighs the defending at times. And if I can learn my defensive ability with a cheaper defense, I know full well when they get upgraded, I'm going to be much better. With a striker, it's all about getting the goals and definitely needs to be more invested in. So strikers do come in that little bit more of a price, but are well worth the investment. We then have Ben Yedder. This card is outstanding. We knew he would be. He's got a foot centurion that is the exact same rating. I think you're missing out on one. I think you get one extra passing on this one, but one minus on the physicality. It's not a problem because the pace is unreal. The finishing is elite. He's got the dribbling as well. For 300,000 coins or just over, this card is one of the best SBCs you can do. It's an endgame sort of striker just with his ability alone. Yes, when we get to team of the season, we more than likely will want to upgrade it. If we get an R9, if we get an Mbappe in there, then yes, of course, he's going to be replaced. But most definitely, the in-game and stats that this guy has is just next level. It's next level. Everybody knows it. Ben Yedder is a joke up front. He just manages to do everything. Then we have Liao. Again, very little much to say about this guy because he is just absolutely goated. Again, another player that can really hit some heights this year if he does manage to get himself a team of the season. With a 91 already in focus, we're looking at the very minimum a 95, 96 Liao. So that is a very big thing to be looking at. But this guy by no means is an absolute joke as well. 5-star, 4-star, very good height on him. The stats precede him with great pace. Finishing wise, could do with a bit of work, but we're looking at something like a finisher to get a bit more dribbling as well, because we've maxed out the pace pretty much to the point where a +3, +4 is really not going to do too much. We can definitely focus more on getting that +15 on that finishing, getting a bit more agility balance. Unfortunately, the composure can't be upgraded, but 86 is still good enough, and he's got the strength as well. This card is definitely an S tier sort of striker and is unbelievable in the Serie A. We then go on to Voler, another great card I personally like. Very much like Smolarek, I feel like the 4-star skills is inevitable for him, and hopefully we do see big upgrades for a lot of the heroes coming very, very soon. It looks like it might be another week or two yet, as I believe we're going into a showdown week, which hopefully is kind of filled with something else as well, because I think showdown with no upgrades, no players in packs, is a little bit lackluster personally. But striking wise, finishing is top dollar, great pace, great dribbling, an all-round very good striker. I loved his normal hero version, and his World Cup most definitely doesn't disappoint. Forlan, very similar. We're just going to briefly go over the heroes. 4-star, 4-star, again very much like a Voler, like a Smolarek, has the ability. Pace is good, finishing good, dribbling good. There's not much more you need. He is just naturally very good at shooting, and his finishing is always going to be very consistent with this one. We then have Alvarez, who is one of my favourite strikers this year, especially coming out of the Future Stars. We've seen him with a gold card, with no real upgrades, to be honest. Obviously, Haaland is taking the spotlight over at Man City, so it's kind of giving him no real room to breathe. So having this 92 rated card upgraded is just a joke. We've got the pace, the finishing, little bit on the passing, incredible dribbling with a massive composure boost as well, which is always perfect. And he has got my favourite trio of traits for a striker: finesse, flair, and outside of the foot. Always works really well. The big thing for me with him is he is so quick on the turn. That is just absolutely dangerous. Then you mix that in with the acceleration and the finishing. He is just a recipe to get goals. We then have R9s, the only icon I've put in this because, yes, I could literally fill the list with another 5 icons. Eusebio, Cruyff, R9. We could then look at somebody like a Cantona. We could then see a Pele. There's just so many of them. Even you throw in Hullet as well, to be honest. But you just know that they are the top. They don't need to be said every single time because them icons are the top 5 to top 7 that everybody wants in icons. R9 has always been my favourite. There may be people that prefer Cruyff because of the 5-5 and being a little bit more on the leaner side rather than R9 being very stockier but having his own body type. But R9 is... Again, he's a wonderful card. There's a reason why he's always 5 mil plus pretty much until the game ends. Then we've got the 2 team of the years. We've got Haaland and Mbappe. These guys, they're just the top of the top. Until we get to team of the season, there is no other chance to get these in your team. And obviously, they are going to be 2 massive contenders that we want to see in team of the season to try and get, because both of them just have the stats. Team of the year is, especially attackers, are absolutely jokes. And I know I haven't put Messi in this one, but I think as a striker, I feel like Mbappe and Haaland are going to outbeat Messi as a physical striker. Messi, I personally really like him on the wing this year, so he would be in that category. But obviously with these two, they are just phenomenal in their own aspect. The dribbling's incredible, the finishing's incredible, it's all maxed out, and obviously Mbappe has that pace as well. I will say, Gold Haaland is definitely not in the spotlight as much now. Most definitely the first couple of months he was absolutely elite. Whereas I think Mbappe, you could go with a gold version and most definitely still be very happy. Loads of teams I see have maybe got his player of the month, which obviously quite a few people did if you didn't have the gold version. But personally, I packed the gold version very early on this year, and he has been influential throughout the whole team and obviously my journey in FIFA 23. He is still very elite and would recommend anybody to go get that gold version if you are struggling for a striker and have a little bit of coins left over, because obviously the best gold card personally on the game. So let me know down below if there's anybody else you would personally choose in this top meta strikers. Make sure you do like and subscribe on the video, and I'll show you a video on screen for another meta midfielders or defenders. But other than that, make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.